Yeah, Jay, David Newton, ESPN.com, way back here in the back. Can you be more specific on where the clots were? You said the veins, but I mean, was there a lot of rumors about being in the lungs and other places? So more specific about that. And was he having some kind of pains that caused him to go to the emergency room?
Yeah, he was having, excuse me, he was having some discomfort in his chest, and I guess it had happened the night before, and just as we all do, really thought nothing of it. The next day he had him again, so that's when he called Dr. Petty and asked Dr. Petty his opinion on what he should do. Dr. Petty instructed him, just to err on the safe side and go get checked out. The clots, obviously these clots dissolve, they move, they split, they whatever. Their legs, I think there was one around his lung. I don't know if you would say in his lung or not. Again, I'm not really sure on that. But, again, the medication is designed to dissolve these. And I'm not sure if when they dissolve them, if it breaks them and they become, instead of one, there's three now, smaller ones, or how that works. But, he's obviously in a really good place, getting the correct medication to get it fixed, dissolved, taken care of. And, again, that's, he was very smart listening to his body, knowing that something was going on and to go get checked out. So we're glad he did that.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Jake, following up on Bob's question, him not being able to run a lap, is that doctor's recommendations they don't want him in the car, or is that, again, the medication he's taking, or why not
again, we're not really sure at this point. Again, we haven't spoke to the doctors. We've just talked with Brian. And it became, clear yesterday morning that this weekend was not going to be an option. I'm not exactly sure all why, but obviously, his health and safety are our main concern, and we're not even sure when he's going to be released for sure. Again, his health is our main concern. So we just want to make sure he gets right and gets better and go from there.
Kenny.
Kenny Bruce, SceneDaily.com. Jay, if he went in Wednesday night, I mean, is there a reason you guys haven't talked to the doctors yet, since he is, your driver, and when do you plan on speaking to them?
Well, again, there's a lot of we've talked to Brian, and Brian's obviously been, he wanted us today to talk very openly about what's going on, and we obviously have 100% confidence and faith in what he's telling us, the doctors are saying. I'm sure once he gets out, we'll debrief with lots of times the NASCAR medical liaisons get involved because it's terminologies and things, to tell us exactly in our terms and understanding what is exactly going on. So we'll be doing that in the next couple of days.
Claire Beelang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. This is a question for Ramsey. Ramsey, Jay was talking about these are things we do every day. There were some rumors of carbon monoxide or whatever the drivers do in the cars or on the airplanes that may affect this. How involved does NASCAR get, NASCAR doctors and that sort of thing in this whole deal?
When a driver is ill, he will typically see his own physician, but when it comes back to coming back onto the racetrack, that driver will need to be cleared by NASCAR's medical liaisons as well, and there'll be some conversation, discussion with his doctors as well, just to make sure, as Jay said, that the driver's health and well-being is first and foremost in everyone's mind. Bob?
Bob Hocker, SceneDaily.com. Jay, I think the reason carbon monoxide is being talked about is because of the damage he had last week in his car early, and possibly him breathing a lot of fumes. Do you have any idea if that possibly accelerated any of his issues?
No, we obviously don't think so. We didn't have any damage last. Did we have damage last? Well, we did. At Texas, we had some damage a couple weeks ago, and we actually, parked the car early because of the stuff that was going on inside the cockpit. In conversation with Brian, that's never been mentioned as anything the doctors have contributed to anything.
Steve Richards again with PRN. Jay, could this be a perfect example of maybe NASCAR could tweak a rule where the team wouldn't suffer, where Casey would pick up points for your team? And
like a mulligan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that'd be obviously in our situation today. That would be great. But again, the rules are the rules. They've been the rules for a long time. We understand them. Again, it's if this affects our chase chances, which obviously it will, we'll just reset our goals and our for the rest of the season. And again, it kind of is what it is. We didn't predict or thought anything like this could happen, but it has. And we'll redirect our rules, reset our rules or goals. I'm sorry, that for the rest of the season.
Any further questions? We'll go back to Bob.
Okay, as far as your goals, what are your goals with Casey in the car? I mean, what would be reasonable expectations for him?
Reasonable expectations for Casey. Well, obviously we want to compete. We want to compete at a high level. We think Casey Mears can do it, and Casey's a young guy who has still something to prove, and we think we should be able to compete at a very high level this weekend, just like we had expectations before this happened.
We'll finish up with Nate.
Do you know, Jay, how long he's going to have to take the medication for?
No. I think some of the things they're doing right now is a intense type dosage of, I think, to get this dissolved and gone, and I don't know the long-term effects of this.
Is there anything in his family? Is there any history of this?
Not really sure, aware of that.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you, Jay, for explaining everything.
Thank you, everyone.